Hey you guys, Zenith Darksky here, finally with another video game review. The first video game review we gave you guys was the Outriders demo review. And I'm still working on Outriders slowly but surely, so I'm still going to give you guys a review to that eventually. But for now, we have the Resident Evil Village review. Resident Evil 8 Village, whatever you want to call it. Resident Evil VIII Age. I don't know. But either way, we have the Resident Evil Village review. Overall, I would say, I had an overall great experience with this game. Having said that, before I get in this review, I am reviewing this as a person that already likes Resident Evil games and has played Biohazard. I say that because some could argue that some of the big story revelations that come to you through this game and are impactful are only made more impactful if you played Biohazard or the other RE games. So I'm not judging. This game is a standalone game in terms of the story. Now that my big disclaimer is out, let's get into the review of this Resident Evil Village. You guys know the first thing I like to judge a game on here for the reviews is gameplay, and I'm giving the gameplay a perfect 5 because overall the gameplay works the way I feel it should. Aiming is pretty on point. A lot of the gameplay of this RE game is very much more action focused than other games like Biohazard and whatnot, but I still feel like it's scary where it tries to be. When it does try to hit horror, it hits it well to me. Overall, I would say the gameplay mechanics, crafting, and general gameplay of the game hits the mark exactly where it wants. The puzzles are very good as well. It's the gameplay overall is a good game. Not many glitches or any. I didn't run into any glitches, so there's that. The graphics and the style, I give a perfect 5 because I really like the overall graphical style of the game. I never ran into any weird animations. I like the approach of the Romanian / Central European look of the game with very obvious allusions to Resident Evil 4 in terms of design. I would say if you're going to try to copy this setting, Resident Evil 4 is the one you want to try to copy in terms of similar, aesthetics. The color palette doesn't get overused because of the environments. They change enough and you have a castle setting, a factory / warehouse setting, a snowy village, a riverside, inside a pretty decent sized house, etc. Nothing gets too stale, and it's a beautiful game overall. Story is a perfect 5 as well. I know it sounds like it's like overall perfect to me, but I have my complaints, but story is perfect 5. I give the story perfect score as well, and I love it. Having said that, let me address the one thing that I have seen other people complain about with the story. A lot of people don't like how the story connects this game to other games, as it does it in a very background kind of way, as in through extra reading of documents you find in the game, and they finally connect this game and Biohazard to each other and back to the other Resident Evil games as well. But I like that they don't try to make it a super in-your-face thing, because some games suffer for sure when they try to connect the games very outwardly and in-your-face. So I love that it's there for the people who care about the story. You can read those documents and be like, okay, so I see how this connects to everything, but it's not super in your face. And I don't think it needs to be, because there's nothing in this that I think would make it easy to do it in your face way, where it's like, oh, you read the lore and you get that oh moment, but nothing outwardly really hits you like that. I love that it's there for the people who care, and it has a nice rounded story for those that only care about maybe this one and Biohazard. But it does require pre-acquired knowledge of Biohazard, so if you want to understand the story completely, that could be a negative thing. If you're only going in the Resident Evil Village, having no prior experience with Biohazard or anything, it could be a negative. I don't think it was, and I'm judging it as a person who's played Biohazard, but I can understand for sure if you wanted to count that as a negative. I give content a 4 out of 5 because I love the content that you have in this game thus far to play through. RE games always succeed in that right of making the game very replayable by rewarding you for playing through several times and having challenges, but it is a shorter game compared to other Resident Evil games. Not too short for me personally. It's about 10 hours of content, give or take, depending on your speed. I think I did it in about 11 hours, 10 to 11 hours. Then you could play the game through harder difficulties, you could grind challenges, play mercenaries mode, which is also promotes like grindability and replayability. So I think there's plenty here. My only gripe is that it could be longer, and certain sections do fly by pretty quick. Like the pacing, like certain areas fly by really quick, and in certain areas don't. You know, certain areas drag on a little bit, but they might fix that with DLC. You know, they might add some more content for us as well. We'll see. Overall, I give the game a 4 out of 5 for fun, because the game is fun for sure. The only reason I don't give this game a perfect score in fun, honestly, is because there can be some frustrating sections, some frustrating puzzles in the game for sure, or to me, at least. The third boss in this game can be extremely frustrating for some people. I didn't die one time in my first standard playthrough, and that boss still gave me a really hard time though, especially since my resources were definitely running low. That doesn't make it less fun, but those things on top of the fact that the boss has some attacks or situations where he can just seem a little too relentless, brings down the fun to me. But I suggest you play it if you haven't and see if you feel the same. Other than that, overall insanely fun and insanely replayable. So overall I would give this game a 4.6 out of 5 for me. Almost perfect. I just personally would like to see just a little more story content and a couple frustrating moments are all that really hurt the game to me. Almost perfect. Almost a perfect game to me. I love it, dude. I love it. As perfect as a game could be, it's pretty close to it. And some people might think that this is a perfect game. I know there's a lot of people who have judged Resident Evil games and say this is their favorite of all time, and this is definitely one of my favorite of all time. If nostalgia didn't put some games above this to me, then I would say it's a perfect Resident Evil game. It's a very fun Resident Evil game. It's scary where it needs to be. You know, everything works, no glitches or anything like that that I could find. There might be some in there, but none in my experience. And you know, you need to understand that reviews are subjective in a way where this is my feelings based on my experience with the game, but maybe someone else had some rougher experiences or whatever. Maybe they played through really quick on easy mode, and if you did, no hate, but you know, that would make the game go by probably pretty quicker. You know, so there's that. Overall though, 4.6 out of 5, not bad. Tell me what you guys thought below in the comments of this game, if you've played through it, or you know, is my review making you kind of hesitant, or does it make you want to play the game? For sure, tell me about it in the comments down below. If you did like the game or you liked the review, be sure to leave a like on the video so other people can see it as well. Share it around so more people can see it, and be sure to hit that sub button because 90% of you guys are not subbed, and I hate to see it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Zenith Darksky. Get gaming.